right. Hi guys, it's Bianca from Roy 28 and I am really excited to make this video, guys. Because this video is gonna I'm gonna give it all. I'm gonna give it all in this video, so I'm very excited for this one. Um but yeah, so I wanted to share with you guys some very important things that I learned, some very important and transparent moments that I've had, because I really want to kind of show how this entrepreneurship lifestyle that I've been living has really been a journey for me. Has really been a change in mindset, a change in my belief, what I believe about myself, change of what I thought entrepreneurship was, how I drew closer to God and become an entrepreneur, how it allowed me to be the person who I am today. So this might be a little bit long video, but this is a deep one. So if you like what you hear, once you see this video, share it with whoever needs to hear it, share it with your friends, your family. It's gonna be good. So start it off with my previous video I talked about how what thing that didn't end September and how busy I was planning an event and getting things together for my jewelry store and with my coaching and my clients. But this one is going to give like a full recap of what my year has been like. So for me, I don't wait until January to plan goals for myself. I actually do that in October. So my calendar year kind of goes from like October 1st to October 1st of the next following year. So for me, October 1st is my new year. I kind of got that idea because in Jewish culture, that's when their new year starts. Not Jewish at all, but I am very sensitive to the culture because I'm a Christian, so a lot of my belief systems come from Jewish culture. So I kind of use that, and especially with the fall season, how the fall begins to change and shift. And I'm a person that I believe in sowing seeds, in harvest and growth. Fall season kind of represents to me a birthing, a process when you have to sow seeds and the ground begins to like change and the foliage begins to come in. So that shift, this fall season for me, it starts like a beginning of a brand new year for me, and it sets me up for our national new year in January. The next 3 months determine how I start the next following year. So that's what I do. So I'm gonna guys give you a recap from my September of last year up until now. So you guys can see how I grew in this journey and how God really, really pushed me and unctioned me into entrepreneurship um, consistently this year. So in September, so around this time last year, I was going through a really difficult place in my mental space, as far as what I wanted to be, what I was doing. I had a hunger for entrepreneurship, but I really couldn't get much done because I was really invested into my previous place of employment. Um, I worked for not I don't want to give too much to you because I'm supposed to have courtesy when it comes to organizations, but I had a moment in my life where I told myself that I was giving my all to my foreign place of employment, like all to the point that I was leaving nothing for myself. I invested a lot of time into my clients, a lot of time into my work. Even to the point I was still, I was going to school, I was going, interning, but to me, work was my top priority. Because I didn't want to see my clients fail, and I worked for an agency where a domestic violence agency where the clientele was sensitive, and I had to make sure, and I'm a person that I like to help people in their ultimate capacity. So I want to make sure that I was putting my all. Sometimes a little too much, to the point that I was neglecting my physical health. I was neglecting my sleeping patterns, my school, my family life. I had to, ultimately just sit there and like, God, like, I don't know what to do. And he quickly resolved that for me. So at this time last year, I was jobless. I didn't have a job. I didn't know what I was gonna do with myself. I just knew that I just couldn't be in that place anymore because for me, God was pushing me to so much more. So I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. Also around, oh, probably a little bit late, but also a time around this time last year, I was also single. I was in a relationship with the one. He was still an amazing person. I never downplay any of my exes. But I was in a relationship where a long term one for almost 8 years. And I told myself that after 8 years, if I didn't see particular growth in some areas, that I wasn't going to be in that relationship anymore. So I moved into a different space, a different atmosphere with that. So I was single. Sorry, mom came in, so I was like, oh my god. So I was in a different atmosphere, as far as relationship wise. So I was not only jobless, but I was also single. So I didn't have my support system. I didn't have a job, and I was like, God, like, what is going on? Also mentally, I just felt like I just was hopeless in some areas. I didn't really think of myself in the highest esteem, and I ultimately fell into a depression. But it wasn't long. It wasn't like some like my like previous episodes of depression, but it was like I had a day of like I was like, oh, I no, I'm not with it. I'm not. God, I need either you gonna help me or it's not gonna get done. And I just literally just sat there and I watched as the bills came in. I wasn't able to pay my bills, and I never, like, if you see my payment history, I never miss payments. Like, one thing I don't do is I pay some bills. So I watched as, like, my insurance like was cut off because I was a previous job. I had to pay those back bills back. I watched as my car payments came, and I was like, God, I just at the end of the day, just help me to breathe. Help me to breathe after this. So whatever. So sometime in October, I really told myself I was I'm just gonna get closer to God, because ultimately He's the one who I find rest in, and if I can't find it in God, then I can't find it in nobody else. It is what it is. And when I did that, I felt like a sense of release in my life, where I was just like, okay, I don't know what just happened, but I feel like everything I cried, I prayed. I just gave everything to God. Here's my list of things that needs to be done. Help me, either you help me get it done, send people my way, or give me some fresh ideas to get it done. And when I surrendered in that way, it was as if I was able to breathe again, as if I was able to dream again. And I just sat in my bed just crying and praying, and just after all of that, I just stood still and I listened. And I just began to talk to me about different things and kind of bring back visions and goals and dreams that I had 5 years before that. And I was like, oh wow, like, I mean, yeah, I wanted to do that, or yeah, I wanted to get into that. So, God, how do I do that? And one of the things that came to me was life coaching, and I was like, you know what? I am tired of seeing people not accomplish their goals, and what stops them from doing that. And I kind of hosted like a little session with my friends to kind of see what was the biggest thing that stopped them from their goals and their dreams. And it was fear and it was anxiety. And I tell myself, I want to help people get over that fear and anxiety of becoming entrepreneurs. I want to talk to my generation. I want to talk to my population, my fellow millennials, college graduates, about how to get over that fear and anxiety. And in that, in those times, I started to just focus on vision and what that vision looked like. And, all the ideas that was coming to my head, I just got it, write it down. I was writing out plans, packages, everything, put everything on paper. And as I focused on that, I still had other things going on, like I said, those bills. But when I focused on vision, and as if I didn't have to feel so boggled out about those things, I knew I was investing in something that was going to reap me a good harvest. Um, so even through that, I was, focused on vision. I was able to kind of get everything else done. Like, I was okay, if I get, I spend 3 hours on getting my goals, let me go and apply for a job and see what I can do and stuff like that. And my specific person, I didn't want a job that was going to cause me stress. Like, I want to be able to plan my entrepreneurship journey, plan my visions, and still go to work, like pay my bills. And I got them into a place that was able to do that. The work hours I wanted was 7 o'clock in the morning to 3. I was able to wake up and and get stuff done, but also come home and just relax and get some more stuff done. I made the hard decision that I wasn't going to do case management anymore. And for those of you that know me, that have seen me do case management, know that case management is my thing. So I told myself I wasn't gonna do case management. I wasn't gonna work one-on-one with clients. I was gonna do more of emergency triage and not do so much, follow up. So I was just gonna go in there, help people in that moment, and then leave. And I had to make that decision because I knew that I wanted to spend that energy life coaching. So I did that. So sometime between January, February, March, and April, I was like entrepreneurship was on my mind. I was making videos. I was out there creating channels. I was creating content. I was doing everything was working so smooth for me. And I was like, God, like, this is what it is to be an entrepreneur. I got my life back in order. I started getting money, paying off my bills. Things started looking cool. Having little savings here. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm on it. Like unstoppable. Nothing can touch me now. And then in May, because you can't have all these luxurious times and then nothing happens. In May, I got into a car accident, and I was like, God, like I was, and this is the funny part. I was on the path of actually creating a debt-free plan for myself, and it was working smooth. Like I enrolled into a nonprofit that kind of helped me with my finances. Like everything was going good. I got into a car accident right after I was trying to refinance my car to get cheaper payments, and I was in accident, and I was like, God, what in the I didn't like I just was trying to get low payments, not no car at all. So and all that kind of took me to like another episode of like, God, like come on man, like I was going well, and I kind of like let that depression sit in. I kind of was didn't really pursue what I was supposed to do regarding the car, but eventually I started to ask God for help to pick myself back up, like my bootstraps, encourage myself, like, yeah, because this is just a minor thing you have going on in your life. Even in that, like, it felt like that thing happened that kind of ricocheted other things. So I had to like really like sit myself down and put myself in a place at peace. And I was like, all right, what did you do back in September? You got to do it again now. So yeah, I went through another cycle of kind of encouraging myself. And then, um, when I came back to my senses, I told myself, you know what, let's get back on this bike pushing. But I felt like it was harder for me to get back into the groove of that because I just didn't know what to do now. Like I did all the planning process, I did all the social media stuff. Like I didn't know now how to run the business. Like I was like, God, like what do I do to run the business? Like, you know what I'm saying? So my things that I like to invest wisely, and I was like, you're gonna have to send people my way that's gonna help me, because I don't know anybody in my inner circle that can teach me these things. Like, so who can I seek from the outside to kind of help me? And sure enough, I said that, I got videos and posts of this woman who is just on my page, like constantly talking about coaching and how she can help people make their coaching business started in simple, easy steps. And I was like, all right. So she had workbooks. I downloaded those workbooks. I was like, okay, because I'm a person that plans. So I downloaded her stuff and got her thing together and got all the material that she needed. And I was like, you know what? I think this is someone who I want to work with. So I got a free call with her, and I was like, hey, like here's what I want to do, and da 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 da. And I kind of talked with her, and I was still kind of skeptical, so I didn't really sign on right away. But the more I saw her interacting and saw her talking about it, that seed that was placed inside of me like started to grow. And I was like, you know what, I gotta book this one. I don't know where the money's coming from, because I was another cycle of like where the money at, but I just want to drop money on her. And I was like, listen, like I need help, let's do this. And that was the best thing I've ever done in my life, because I literally built my program in 2 months. But my mind was set to kind of launch it like 4 months after that, but she was like, no, you can do this, you can do this. And I literally sat with her one-on-one and built out this program, and I was so proud of making a decision. I was like, oh my God, to the point now that I have clients that I work with. And I was like, wow, like, and it was funny to kind of go through the process with her, because I was like the same things I want to help my clients with. I was battling with myself, like the fear and anxiety of being an entrepreneur, and how am I going to do this and work a full-time job, how I'm going to do this and manage my life, and how at the end of the day, it's all about priority and decisions that you have to make in your life. And with those decisions, you kind of prioritize what's going to give you the highest return on investment, what's what's your purpose, what's your passion, and ultimately whatever's placed inside of you is that thing that you're supposed to pursue. So did that, launch the program, and then it came time for me. I was okay, now I have to kind of do things on my own now, because there's other things I want to do. I have the jewelry business. I was planning an event, so I was like, let me take a step back of working with someone, and in this particular area, and kind of shift into another area, because I want to be a serial entrepreneur. So I kind of worked with my mom and my sister to kind of get things together for to kind of inspire other entrepreneurs, to kind of plant that seed in them. And that was a successful event. I launched my jewelry store online, working on my emails to kind of get them out there free gifts first before I kind of launched to the general public. But did all of that, and then to even after that, I was okay, God, what's next? Because I was constantly in those modes of God, what you got next for me? And in that, I went to two workshops, and this is the game changer right here, guys. I went to two workshops. One I went to marketing 101 when I worked with this talk with this guy named Mark, and he was kind of explaining to us the how you market and how you brand yourself, and how do you kind of get all those processes going. And I sat there and I was like, man, like as he's talking to me, I'm just, dwelling back on childhood and how important entrepreneurship was. And, he's talking about that, defining who you're working with and what are your, who you're marketing, what's your message. And I remember when I was in, this is a great story. When I was younger, it was me, my mom, and my god siblings and my siblings, and we were kind of talking about vision. And she came into the room because you guys, like, what is your vision? Like, what do you dream about? Like, what do you want to do? And we just kind of talked about different things we wanted to do, like just kind of putting out on like a big white paper. And she was okay, well, what about business? Like, what do you want to do for business? How do you want to make money? And I was like, I don't know. Let's think about that. So we started thinking about like a huge plaza, like an all-in-one plaza, like with fashion designing, medical care, hairstyling, um, project management, engineering, like literally a whole plaza with an all-in-one inclusive thing. And I was like, wow, it was so much fun because, like, my mom is sitting there just kind of talking with us, and we're like dreaming big. Like, she gave us no limits, like just throw it on a paper. And then we called ourselves CIB, Children of Business. So we had our own like plaza name, and then she, told us, whatever money we got to kind of put it into the pot, and she was gonna tithe on it. Tithe on was we do it in the Christian church for like to give around 10%. So she tithed on that, and I didn't know at that time, but that was a seed of entrepreneurship that she showed into our lives. This is when I probably was like 11, 12, probably sometime in like junior high school, but and at that time, so for me, that seed didn't really pop off or like really start to like, okay, time to grow until I was 28. When I sat there, I was in my room and I was sitting there, I was like, God, like, what do I have to show for life now? Like, I'm about to turn 28. And I cried on my 28th birthday. And then something told me, stop crying, go and write a blog. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go do that. And I called it Roy at 20, Roy at 28, because at that moment I was like, you know what? Why cry queen? Like, why cry? Like, you're royalty. Like, go out there and share your experience with the world. Like, people need to hear your story. Go out there and tackle the world. And at that moment, I felt such a level of divinity and a level of like power that I was like, you know what? I am a queen. Like, I need to act as such. So that's why I named it Roy at 28, because at that moment I decided in my life that I wasn't gonna live below my means. And then and then as Roy 28 grew, the vision came to me that my mission is to tackle generational poverty. Like, I'm tired of seeing families in cycles of poverty. That's why I work right now. I work at a mental health agency, but we also carry the homeless hotline. And for me, like working in that area, to I could tell myself, like, I am through seeing families in poverty. I'm through seeing families in these poverty cycles, and how can I help change that? And that's kind of what Roy at 28 became, like a avenue to create wealth for families and to kind of reclaim that divinity that you have in your life. Period. That's what I'm doing in life. And in that for me was like such a growth period in my life, when I kind of defined out what my purpose was, and what I was put on this earth to do. Back when I was 17, that's something that I asked of God to kind of show me, what am I here for. I remember sitting in the bathroom. This where it gets real. In the bathroom again, crying. I have a lot of moments when I cry. Sitting in the bathroom crying. I was on the toilet, not on the toilet, on the bathtub. I was like, God, like, listen, either you show me what I'm supposed to do, or I don't want to be here anymore. Like, literally flat out. Like, either you show me what my purpose is, or take me out now. And I remember writing my suicide note, like, this, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in life. Like, what's going on? Like, and I wrote it, sent it to my mom. She was pissed. And we had a whole conversation about that. But I remember that moment, and I was like, God, either you show me what my purposes are. Like, I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to do here? And I feel like once I asked God those things, like, day by day, He began to show me, okay, here's what you're here for. Here's what you're doing. Here's what your goals. Here's what your purpose in life did. And everything, like the picture, even though it was small in the beginning, started to bloom and enlighten. And it started to, like, give me motivation, momentum, consistency, integrity. Like, all those things started to flood inside of me, to the point that when I turned 30, I was like, yo, we gonna do this. We's gonna do this. And I kid you not, my whole 30s, like I've been grinding like crazy. Um, just because like no, this is not just for me, this is for my family, this is for my friends, this is for people like you who I'm trying to who I want to influence and want to help you guys get to where you need to be, because I am a sole believer that everybody who walks this earth has a purpose that is meant to impact others. So that is why I do what I do, guys. That is why I live for It's Funny. Like I claim for It's Funny. This is why I love to kind of change people's mindsets, especially millennials. And I believe that if I start with millennials, then it ricochets on to their children and their parents. Because in order for you to create generational wealth, you have to affect and impact three different generations. And with millennials right now being the highest population, we have the potential to do that because we're thinking about not only us, but we're not also thinking about our children and their future, but also our parents and their generation. So, you know, why not start with the biggest, most baddest population right now? Like we have so much in us, but the one thing we have to stop doing is doing it by ourselves. So you have to work with other people. You have to be able to be willing to work and to kind of get out there and kind of build vision with people. You're not gonna do anything by yourself. You can't do it all by yourself. It's not gonna happen. It's not. So again, that is why a human relationship is important when it comes to building business. Yes, you'll find sneaky shady people. Yes, yes, yes. But if you allow yourself to seek people and seek who are of character, who have our integrity, like those people are out there still. Like I trust me, I know I find them. If you need help, let me know. I can help find them. But yeah, with that, like you know, there are people out there, you know, like you, like myself, that want to help other entrepreneurs get to where they need to be, because ultimately when you help someone get to their vision, that seed begins to trickle down to the next person. You've created a society of goal driven people, and that's my heart. That's the vision that God gave me. That's the purpose that He gave me. In order for me to fulfill that, you know, I have to be willing to kind of submit to whatever my calling is, but also flow through, you know, flow in obedience to what, you know, I've been given. So I told you guys it's gonna be a long video. This is my longest video thus far, period. So yes, so with that being said, I hope this blesses you guys. I hope you guys get some good nuggets out of this. If you have any questions, you can email me at royette28lifecoaching@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on YouTube, DM me, hop in my inbox, all that good stuff. I am a creative millennial business and life coach, and I help creative millennials get over their fears and anxieties and become entrepreneurs. Why? Because I love it. I want to see y'all prosper. That's my goal. You can ask any of my clients. Like I go hard for my clients. Like I be up late at night, busting out their nose and busting out resources for them. So, that's what I do here. I hope this video blesses you guys. I hope this resonates in your spirit and that causes you to go out there and take action. So I love you guys. Have a blessed night. Stay tuned for what I do in October. It's going to be great. Love you guys. Bye.